Okay, the call has been started here. The recording has started. Thank you all for joining today. Very excited to bring this opportunity to you. Just a little bit of background here, and I won't steal their thunder. We have Ryan and Liz from Market Wagon on the call, but very fortunate to be able to bring this business to Shiawassee County. They are now located on the grounds of the Great Lakes family of companies. I know we have Brian Marks on the call as well. Thank you, Brian, for the great work that you've done in helping them get set up there. But we wanted to introduce the folks from Market Wagon to the community. You probably have heard a little bit of buzz about it in the last couple weeks as they get started up here and bring vendors on board. I'm sure some of you have even bought from them and had it delivered to your home already. But we are really increasing the urgency of getting involved with Market Wagon because we realize a lot of the challenges our food businesses are facing now and will face in the coming winter with the virus, and including the announcement last night from the governor that in-person dining will be prohibited. Our food businesses need to find new ways to get new customers and get product to folks not only in Owasso and Shiawassee County, but throughout the central Michigan area. And we think Market Wagon presents an incredible opportunity for you to get your products out to those areas using their platform and delivery service. I've started to call them the Amazon of local food producers. That's really what they are. And so we're very, very grateful that they were willing to make time today to talk to you, our local stakeholders. I know we have a number of food businesses on the phone. We have some potential customers on the phone. And so we wanted to take this time to introduce them, to give the floor to Ryan and Liz from Market Wagon so you could learn the nuts and bolts of what this is all about. How does it work? How does it operate? How do I sell on Market Wagon? How do I buy on Market Wagon? And then we do want to give time as well if you have specific questions. I know a couple of my restaurant friends have questions on packaging. There's some other questions regarding cottage food laws in Michigan. So we want to have this be a discussion on that as well. So with that entry into the discussion, I would like to turn it over to Ryan and Liz from Market Wagon to tell you more about their business and what they have going on here and how you can participate. So Ryan, Liz, the show is yours.
Great. Thank you so much, Justin. Thank you for everyone joining today. My name is Ryan Thomas. I am the Director of Business Development with Market Wagon. I'm a founding employee, so I've been with the company since before day one. We weren't even a company yet. We just sat down in a tiny little office and with an idea. And then we launched our company January 1st of 2016. So we're coming up on 5 years in business. And it's been a very exciting ride. We are now, we have 18 locations and we service 9 states with Indianapolis, Central Indiana being our flagship and our first location. We're located in Durand, but we're calling it Central Michigan. And that was our 17th location. So we're very, very excited to be in the area. We're very excited to be, with Brian and the development board, and just the buzz around it has been unlike any other location we've launched, and it's really exciting to us. Yeah, so just like Justin said, we're an online farmers market. We're like Amazon for local food. Everything that you order on our website is from your area. We don't prohibit. So if we have a vendor that is, they're located upstate and they want to drive 2 or 3 hours to deliver, that's fine. We're not going to prohibit that. But it's really about knowing where your food comes from. That's one of our main focuses, that when you order from Market Wagon, you have the ability to ask the vendors questions, and you have the ability to know exactly where it comes from. And still, even though it's an online company, even though you're not going to see anyone face to face, you still have that connection, and that's super important to us. But yeah, we're, as far as getting into who can come on board and how it works and all of that, I'll cover that first. So if you are a farmer or if you're an artisan, so if you make breads or anything, then the first step you want to do, and I invited Liz on this call because this is her territory, and her job is actually reach out to, before we open a location and while the location is opening and open, she reaches out to vendors that are within the area and brings them on board. But another way that you could do it is just simply go on marketwagon.com. You click on become a vendor, you fill out the application, and then someone will give you a call, and then you're on board. But yeah, if you have a restaurant right now and things are tightening back up, we're here for you. We have a large budget, and if you're a restaurant that's located in Durand, Michigan, we can get your items up to Bay City. Obviously you wouldn't pay a delivery driver to do that. We'll do it for you. So we have that ability to reach. I think it's right around 1.5 million people that are within our territory. So we have that ability. We have a large marketing platform that we use to get the word out, and it is a two-way street as well. So we do ask our vendors to use their social media platforms and announce that they're now on Market Wagon, and if they need, if you're still doing a winter farmers market, we can get you information in hand, if you wanted to hand out to and say, hey, you can also, you see me here once a week, but if you don't feel comfortable coming, you can get it online, and here's the information. So there's a lot of things that we could do where we can work together and make this a very, very successful launch and a successful location, because I wholeheartedly believe, just from the initial feedback that we're getting and the fact that I'm on this call, I know that it's going to do very well. So I guess, Liz, do you want to kind of introduce yourself? And I know what you do, but you could probably explain what you do a little better than I can.
Thanks, Ryan. Hi, everybody. My name is Liz Duval. Like Ryan said, my job kind of has me in a territory. So I actually handle all 3 of our Michigan markets. We have the one in Central in Durand. We have one west in Granville, and we actually just launched one in Southeast in Plymouth. So that'll serve more of like the Detroit metro area. I am basically the guide for vendors. My entire job is to be here to answer questions, help with any technical issues you might be having, give guidance on how to best use our system. And like Ryan said, when we start new locations, it's my job to kind of forage for new vendors, talk through the process with new vendors. So I'm really excited to be on this call with everybody today. And yeah, I'm excited to answer any questions you guys might have about joining Market Wagon.
So we got a lot of people on. Looks like we're up to almost 25 participants on the call, which is great. I think now might be a good time. I do know there are some questions out there, and to be efficient here, why don't we just start getting them asked? Is that okay with you, Ryan and Liz?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Who's got a question for Ryan or Liz on how this all works? Anybody want to jump in?
Sure, I'll jump in. I am an organic farmer located in Owasso. My husband and I own Owasso Organic. We have about 4 acres of vegetables and cut flowers. So, I mean, we're beginning to be quote-unquote off-season, but once we start to gear up in the spring, I haven't been here, the marketwagon.com, so I'm asking an obvious question, but what would be the procedures for me to contact you, let you know what we have available, the volume? I assume we would negotiate on prices, and then we would kind of go from there. If you could just kind of walk me through as a farmer, maybe there's other farmers on the call too, how that whole procedure unfolds.
Yeah, sure. So I can answer that for you. So you are actually, we put the ball in your court. So you are in charge of your listings, your photos, your descriptions, your prices, everything. That is all, everything that you manage. So it's just like if you were going to be at a physical farmer's market, except for you don't have to load your truck up, you don't have to worry about the weather, and you don't have to worry about reloading your truck back up for everything that you didn't sell. Everything is already ahead of time. So if you go on and, let's say for instance you grow tomatoes, and you could put on your listing, you could sell them by 5 pounds of tomatoes for X amount of dollars, 1 pound of tomatoes for X amount of dollars, and then you would put that inventory in, and then you get a pick ticket. So this is a Thursday market, right?
My market?
No, our Central Michigan market. So our Central Michigan market is a Thursday market. So vendors come between 8 and 10 a.m. on Thursdays.
Yep. So you would get a pick ticket on Tuesday telling you everything that was sold, and then that gives you Wednesday to put everything together. And then when you arrive to our facility on Thursday, then our team and you will put the items into the customer's totes. So really, you're the only person that is mostly touching the tomatoes, for instance, that you've sold. But yeah, you control all of that, and we take a cut. That's basically how it works. Is we have a percentage. So we don't tell you what to price anything at, but we offer guidance. So we can offer guidance with photos if they aren't. Sometimes we'll get someone that loads a photo and it's just like the bottom part of a frozen package of a burger, but it's in like the white pack, the butcher paper, and you're like, well, I mean, yeah, but we'd rather see like the actual ground beef in the photo, because they're not able to feel it, touch it, smell it. So we have to do the best that we can with a photo and a great description with that item. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that definitely does. So the pick ticket will come to me on Tuesday. I would see you on Thursday. When do you have people load up? What is it a Monday thing where I load up the pictures and the items and the prices and the volume?
So you keep it on all the time. You'll obviously know like what's coming up. So you'll know, hey, okra is getting ready to come. So you're going to put that on the website, and then you can publish and unpublish. So hopefully you'll be with us for years and years and years and years. And like a good example would be strawberries. I'm guessing the grow season in Michigan for strawberries is probably like July, right? Like a couple weeks in July or end of June.
June, July.
Well,
yep.
Obviously, you're not going to, you'll load the description up, the photos, the prices, everything of the strawberries. And then once that season's over, once you're not selling strawberries anymore, you just go in and you click unpublish. And then that takes it off the site. And then next June or July, you just go in and click publish and it's back. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
So can I ask a question? And I know some of our restaurateurs might have this question. So obviously you talk about like fruits, vegetables, that's understandable. What about like prepared meals? That's what I've been getting the last couple of days. Like I make stuff in my kitchen and I serve it to customers in my restaurant, but how do I actually translate that into this service?
Yeah. So we have a lot of it. Liz, do you want to take that as far as the
Yeah, sure. So yeah, we actually have, if you go onto our website, www.marketwagon.com, you'll notice that we have different categories of the items that get sold. And one of those categories actually is entrees and prepared foods. So one of the great things about that is we do already have vendors that sell those types of things on our website. It typically is like that, restaurants who already make these things and are looking for another avenue to sell their items, especially now, you know, when there's all these different obstacles in front of everyone. I can tell you we have anywhere from a 6-pack soft shell taco kit to packs of pierogies that people can cook at home. I mean, we've seen a lot of different things do really well. I will say, usually our most popular ones are the entrees that are geared towards the different food lifestyles, so keto, paleo. But we also have like some barbecue places that do really well, and they'll just do a little, you know, lunch pack where it's maybe pulled pork, some garlic bread, and coleslaw. So yes, we definitely are very interested in the entrees, sides, and soups category, and they statistically do very well in all of our markets.
Yeah, and feel free to if you go to marketwagon.com, you can actually click up at the top. There's a tiny little green drop down, a little drop down arrow where you can change the market. You can click delivery networks. So if you want to click on a large location like the Indy Thursday or Indy Tuesday, they're both pretty big, or like Southwest Ohio or Columbus, those are very big, robust markets, and click on the shop here. Now, before you actually do shop and place an order, you're going to want to change your location back to Central Michigan. But it's a good way to kind of get a feel for, especially with the meals. Like I'm looking at the meals right now. We have 254 items that are in our entrees, sides, and soups category. Yeah, and I'm seeing a ranch chicken casserole from Low Carb Revolution. There is a dinner for two tomato chicken meatballs from Old Major Market. You know, all over the place. If you know how to package it, it can't arrive warm, so it would need to be either frozen or refrigerated within the safe temperatures. And then you'll put that when you load that item into your dashboard. You're going to explain, you know, how it should be packaged as far as if it's frozen or cool, and that will determine how many ice packs need to be added to the tote. But the options are limited. If it could be frozen or cooled and packaged, then yeah, you could sell it on Market Wagon. And actually a really fun story for everyone. We have a gentleman. He's been with us since the very beginning, so almost 5 years he's been a vendor with us, and his company is batch number 2. He started out just making mustard. That's it, just mustard. And then he added, you know, a spicy mustard, and then it now has barbecue sauces and ketchups, and several different, I think 5 or 6 different mustards that he makes. And when this pandemic first hit, he called me and he was like, "Hey, you know, I have a commercial kitchen where I make all of my sauces." He was like, "I'm also a trained chef." He's like, "Is there items that would be helpful on the website that you think people would really enjoy, you know, since people are going to be stuck at home, maybe quick things where they can heat up for their kids?" And so I actually talked to my wife. She's a part of a group called City Moms. Actually, Liz is in it too. And I said, "Hey, you know, will you reach out to your moms and ask them, like, what are quick things that you can, you know, throw on a sandwich, or you can heat up, or maybe, you know, you don't have to do something like that." So he started making chicken salads and egg salads and tomato and potato salad, like all kinds of things where you could just scoop and go. And he he went from not giving out actual numbers, but he went from, probably $50 in sales a week with his mustards and ketchups, because those are items that people don't purchase. You're not going to buy a bottle of ketchup and be like, oh shoot, need another bottle of ketchup next week. I mean, maybe if you really like ketchup, but he did that, and he went from the $50 a week range to thousands of dollars, because it was just a huge hit, because that's what people need and that's what people want. So that was actually an incredible thing to watch. He actually called me like 3 days into launching his items, and he was like, "Hey, I don't think I can make it the whole week because I'm not gonna have the ability to make all of it." It was massive orders, and I was like, "Hey, this is a good thing, buddy." So yeah, he's still going strong, and it's been a huge hit. But it's really all about the pivot. So if you have a restaurant, and let's say you're famous for your ribs, I've come from a restaurant background, and I know that ribs obviously take 15 to 20 hours to make. So what you do is you wrap them up and you put them in your cooler, and you bring them out and fire them on the grill as needed. That's an easy thing to do. So if you have famous ribs, like, let's get them on Market Wagon. So all someone needs to do is heat it up. But yeah, if you're a restaurant, we will gladly work with you to figure out how to package your items and get them ready to go to sell online.
And just to piggyback off Ryan, something else that vendors will sometimes have me do, and I am more than happy to do this for anyone on this call or anyone on an individual basis. If you're ever wondering kind of a little bit more specific numbers, if you're thinking of selling, whether it is entrees, fruits and vegetables, things like that, if you're ever wanting to know just general numbers, I am more than happy to pull some data for you. Like a good example is I'm looking at our dashboard right now. This is from last week, so just 1 week. Across all of our markets, we sold over $20,000 in entree, sides, and soups alone. That was our number 4 category. The number 1 obviously is butcher shop, so your meats, followed by fruits and vegetables, just because those are always going to be your anchors when you think of farmers markets. But if you're ever wondering just general numbers or things like that, we're more than happy to share some data with you on that as well.
So this is a question for Liz and Ryan again. So how do you handle cottage food products? We make on our farm a homemade hot sauce that is very popular at the farmers market. It is made through the cottage food law. Would that be something that I could list at Market Wagon and be able to move through your platform?
So I'll take this one, Ryan. So unfortunately, my go-to answer for Michigan is no. And that's simply because if you look at the michigan.gov cottage food law standards, you cannot sell cottage food laws via the internet, and ours is an online platform. However, I always caveat that with feel free to check with your local health department, because at the end of the day, they are the governing body over that. And so there may be some sort of like loophole or wiggle room that we are unaware of.
Okay. That's good to know.
Good question. Other questions from listeners? Anybody have anything for Liz or Ryan? I have another one then along with that. You talked about packaging. Some of our restaurants may not be well set up, or not just restaurants, some of our bakeries possibly, or other folks I've talked to, maybe not well set up in terms of the packaging right now. I know you guys aren't packagers, but can you provide any guidance in helping them understand how to best package their food products?
Yes, absolutely. And really it is pretty simple. We have, I noticed, I peek my head in our operations, and I've noticed some of our restaurant vendors will use the to-go boxes that they already have, and they'll wrap them in saran wrap and a little label on top that says what it is. what the ingredients are inside of it and the weight. And then obviously, you'd probably want to also include some heating instructions too. But that's it.
I have a quick question, specific question. For Liz. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good,
Yeah.
Colleen. Go ahead.
I sell eggs at the regular farmers market. And all I do is I reuse old cartons and just paint the top of them so that, kind of blot out whatever the carton was. Can we sell them through the Market Wagon farm eggs? Or
Yes.
do you need a license to sell them?
Liz, do you know if there's an egg board in Michigan?
I will double check that really quick because some states do have an egg board that you do have to get covered by.
But I'm
to
imagining if you're already selling at a farmer's market, if you're already selling them, then I'm imagining that there's not an egg board, but we can check into that.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if there's any requirements. I think when I looked it up, it said I still have to put a disclaimer on there that says it's not inspected by a license board or something. But I didn't know if you, allowed it, and if you required any special disclaimers or packaging.
So
Can I still reuse old egg cartons?
as far as labeling, we require any labeling that your local health department requires. So anything that a local health department requires, we then also require, and that's just for us to stay, compliant. I apologize. I was reading something about the egg board. And as far as cartons go, as long as they're processed and they're within the standards of any health codes, you should be fine. We have vendors here in Indianapolis that I know reuse their cartons. Egg processors in Michigan do need to be licensed through the MDARD. But again, that's something that I would double check with the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development.
I have a question. We just talked about eggs, so let's stay with that product. How many egg vendors would you then allow at one time through Market Wagon?
Yeah, so I could actually take that. We're an open market, so if we don't exclude anyone, so if somebody comes in and they sell eggs and someone else comes in and they also sell eggs, that's fine. It is a free market. We noticed over the years that really the customers drive that. They drive the eggs, and honestly, we can never have enough, believe it or not. So if you go into is Kroger in Michigan, the grocery store?
Yes.
So if you go into Kroger, you pretty much have like three options. You get Eggland's Best Kroger eggs, or there might be another egg that they're tricking you to let they say local, cage free. They put all the jargon on it, right? You know what I'm talking about. And that's it. But with Market Wagon, this is where the description comes in. So Farm A, they might have different growing practices than Farm B, and it's really up to the consumer to decide. And honestly, we have a lot of customers that shop around. They'll order a dozen eggs from one. Honestly, and to be honest, we do it at my house too, where I'm like, hey, let's try Becker's eggs this week. Let's try the Priest Family Farms. Let's try their eggs, and it's kind of one of those things where it is a preference where you're like, all right, these are the eggs that I like. But yeah, we could have 10 egg vendors on Central Michigan's Market Wagon, and I can tell you that's probably not going to be enough, even then. And it helps keep costs in line too, where where a farmer might come on and say, well, my eggs are $8.50 a dozen, and then the next farm comes in and says my eggs are $3.50 a dozen, and then it starts to kind of even things out to where the pricing makes a little more sense. It's good. Competition is good. It drives people to the website.
Well,
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm on the website and I'm coming across, I see a salsa, fresh salsa. And I'm wondering how you handle the difference between a fresh product and a shelf-stable product, and what your requirements are to show that it's maybe been approved by the state as a shelf-stable product, or a similar product that be sold fresh. And then how would we handle that in terms of you ordered on Tuesday, there's a production. Just speak to me about that a little bit.
Yeah, so a little bit about how it goes into the tote. So we have a very extensive state-of-the-art program that we use, that when you as long as you put the item in to the database how it should be, as far as like the size of it, if it's it could either be ambient, so like your bread, it doesn't need to be refrigerated. It could be cold or it could be frozen. And so we do, I guess, to answer both questions, we do work with the Board of Health, so they are aware of new vendors that are coming to the site. They're vetting them. They're making sure, hey, every once in a while, one will slip through an indie. We have almost 300 vendors in our central Indiana market. And every once in a while, one might slip in that have, they don't have the licensure that they need from the state, and they'll contact us and they'll say, hey, this needs to be unpublished. And then they do what they need to do to get their licensure. And then they're good to go. So yeah, we aren't, we have you fill out your application, fill out all the information. Liz, do they still scan their certificates in?
Yeah, depending on what kind of product you're selling, when you get your access to our vendor portal, there is actually a pop-up that asks for you to upload documentation as far as licensing and just approvals from different health departments or departments of agriculture.
Yeah, so everybody is vetted before they come in.
Do you offer any on-site storage for folks, or does it all have to be delivered the day of?
Yeah, so we have what we call consignment. So if you sell, well, let's say for instance, barbecue sauce, we don't have a lot of room, but that's the only thing that we can store is ambient items. We don't have refrigerator or freezer space, but we can work with the vendors that, maybe they sell tea or something where people aren't going to purchase a ton of them every week. So instead of them coming for $30 or $40 a week in sales, they can set us up with what they have, and then but they still control everything. They need to keep control of their inventory, and our team will actually place the items into the tote for them. So yes, we do have some. Not much, but some storage for ambient items, as long as they're shelf stable.
Well, I think eventually, and I know Brian would support this, we'd love for you guys' business to take off so much you need a bigger warehouse there in Durand.
That is always the plan. My plan is to have Brian build. Plan is to have Brian build me a big, beautiful building. We love our building, but a big, beautiful, state-of-the-art building. He told me he was going to. No.
It's already in my head, Ryan. Don't worry.
And why this is critical, guys, this is a huge, I think, advantage for Shiawassee County food producers, because, as long as you can get your product to Durand, to the Great Lakes property there, you guys take it from there, all over that 10-county region.
That's correct.
I do also just want to add into Justin, the other really nice thing about being a part of Market Wagon is if you do have the capability, either yourself or, maybe you do have a team or you have a family member maybe that helps you. The other great thing is, if you want to do one of our other Michigan locations as well, we do open that up a little bit. We have some guidelines that we do follow just to make sure that the food does stay local and we're offering all the right products in the right area. But especially as Michigan vendors, we are always open to talking to you about growing within the other Michigan locations.
Yeah, that's a great point because Granville and Plymouth are not that far from Durand, so that those are really easy markets to get into as well.
And once again, to be clear, this is completely up to the vendor how much quantity they want to provide and at what prices. So this isn't like a grocery store where you have to supply a certain amount to get in the door. They could start, because I'm assuming, and I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth, I'm assuming there's a lot of interest on this, but they may want to start slow and try a small quantity to get going. Is that all? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll give a really great example. I have an egg vendor who just started in our Plymouth market, and she's excited, but obviously, hesitant as we all are anytime we start a new venture. So she chose one product that she has. She chose an amount that she knew would be, easy, no sweat off her back for each week as her inventory. And she's giving us a try that way. And I can tell you she did very well in our very first week. So I imagine she'll up that here in the next week or two. But yeah, we have vendors all the time that say, well, I'm just going to offer these 2 products to start with and see how they do. I will tell you, the more variety you have of things, obviously, the more eyes will get on your products. But yeah, people are welcome to start with 1 product and only produce 5 of them for the first week to give us a try. We don't put limits on that because we understand that it's kind of one of those, you want to dip your toe in before you just jump in the pool.
We're a really easy company to get along with. Really easy. We exist because of you. We exist because of the farmer and the artisan, and we have you top of mind at all times as far as making sure that you succeed. That is because when you succeed, we succeed, and we're providing an excellent product for the customer. So yeah, we are here for the farmer, for the artisan. We are, we have a team dedicated, Liz, to helping you along the road and being successful and having a long and prosperous relationship.
I have another question.
Oh, go ahead.
It's about what everybody's dealing with right now, the COVID-19. I know Bee's Bakery just had an issue last week that they had to shut down.
Yes, they did.
Because of a positive case. How do you have a policy in place how that has to be handled?
So
yes. Oh, go ahead, Liz.
Well, I can just answer specifically with Bee's Bakery because they're in my territory. I can tell you that they caught their issue in plenty of time. None of the people that had positive test results had been in our warehouse or anything of that nature. And they went ahead and they closed down, and we helped them message out to anybody who had placed an order with them for that week, just letting them know that in general, due to some health concerns, that they were going to be closed, and that the customers would receive a refund for the products that obviously they wouldn't be receiving. But I can tell you, I did actually hear this morning that they're back up and running, so we're very happy that everyone is getting healthy.
Yeah, really a big thing that we're known for is communication. I always say that you can't communicate too much. So we let the customers know ahead of time if there's any issues at all. We do have missing items, so I don't know if everyone on this call is perfect, but I'm not. And you may have miscounted your zucchinis, and you get to our market and you're like, oh my gosh, I sold 140 of them and I only brought 138. Well, if one of the customers that you're filling the tote into, you didn't have enough for them, we actually get that on our list. You write it down, the product, the number, the tote number, and what's missing, and then we get that into our system and let the customer know before it even gets to their door. So that way they don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, now I got to go into Market Wagon and fill out this missing items. We already do it for them, and we refund them before they even receive their item. So we're really good with communication, and obviously right now it's a weird time. We're taking it very serious. There's no repercussions if somebody has a COVID case and they have to shut their business down for a week or two. There's no like repercussions, or we don't fault them at all, because it's not their fault, and it's communicating with the customers, and the customers understand. They understand what's going on, and the validity of the situation. So yeah, we'll communicate with them if something like that happens. And also to caveat on that, as far as safety, we do require everyone that's in our building to wear masks before. When you come in, the first thing you do is you wash your hands, and then you start fulfilling the totes. So, and we limit the amount of people. Right now in Central Michigan, we're pretty good as far as the amount of people that are coming in to the building. But for Central Indiana, when you have 300 vendors, even though we have a big location, can't let 300 people in our building at one time. So we have a gatekeeper that we're keeping, 25 at a time that they come in. They may have to wait 15 or 20 minutes, but again, it's just how it is right now. So, but we're taking things very, very serious and being very cautious.
So it does seem like this is a great service that you're offering both for customers and for farmers and vendors. You had mentioned a percentage that you take, which is just obvious. In terms of the vendor pricing, what is the percent that you then take, you charge the customer in it over what the farmer or vendor would then charge you?
So basically how it works is you set your pricing, you tell the customers how much they're going to pay for your item. Then on the back end, all of our vendors get paid every Friday. You can choose either electronic funds transfer, which we, 2 thumbs up, definitely recommend, get you your money faster, or you can get a paper check if that's just more your comfort level. And every week when you get paid, Market Wagon will take the percentage of what was sold, and then you get paid what is after that percentage. For our vendors who bring their items every week, place them in the totes themselves, that percentage is 25%. If you are a consignment vendor, or so someone that maybe has shelf stable items that you leave at our warehouse, that fee then becomes 30%. And then we also have a third program that involves you bringing the items, but our staff placing them in the totes. That kind of becomes a little sticky, but I am happy to talk about that program kind of on an individual basis if anybody needs a service like that.
Okay, yeah.
So just a question on that then. So when these vendors are looking at pricing, they should be thinking about putting that, I guess, that markup in, right? They should be thinking about what that end price to the customer is.
Yeah, that's 100% up to the vendor. So if they sell it at a farmer's market, if they sell a cucumber for $1 at a farmer's market, and then on Market Wagon they would have sell it for $1.25, that's completely fine.
Okay, because here's something for folks to think about too, because once again, you're delivering to a 10-county region here. And what's fascinating about this is there's some great income diversity and other diversity things between those 10 counties. So, for example, what you might be able to get, let's say in Owasso, you might be able to get more in a place like a Grand Blanc or an Okemos, or a higher income area. So I'm curious how that dynamic plays into pricing as well.
As far as the price is kind of the price.
Right. No,
and
and I'm
really-
sorry, that was more rhetorical versus
No,
a question.
yeah.
It's something, because most of our food vendors are used to pricing their product according to Shiawassee County customers.
Yeah,
Because they're
yeah.
here. Now they have to think about, how do I price my product based on 10 counties of customers?
Yeah, so you are going to be reaching a certain demographic, and obviously there are sprinkles in there too, but yeah, there is that certain demographic that is in every county that can do this, as that will order from us. So I know in like a physical farmers market, you have the ability to take like the wick and the in Indiana we have like these little wooden tokens that they spend. Obviously, you can't do that online, and that's not a Market Wagon thing. That's a government thing. So there's that demographic that you might not reach per se. Which I mean, I really can't say that because really we have sales from all walks of life. So yeah, I would not worry about pricing from one demographic to another. I wouldn't worry about that.
So I just want to make sure that I'm clear on this, because this is a really important thing in terms of pricing the product. Again, as a farmer/vendor, when I list my product and the price of my product, that price should, as was mentioned, if I sell cucumbers for $1 a piece at the farmer's market, listing them on Market Wagon should be listed at $1.25. Is that correct?
That's
So-
entirely up to you. I don't want to say yes, and I don't want to say no. That's entirely up to you as far as
But
your
yes.
margins and what you think you should do.
If
Yeah,
you're
so if
wanting
I mean-
to, yes, our
Go ahead.
percentage is 25%. So if you are wanting to incorporate that into what you're selling your items at, yes, you would do something like that. However, we do let all vendors have complete control over their pricing. The only time we would ever get involved is if we've gotten to the point where maybe customers are complaining that the price is 75% more than any other vendor they've ever seen.
Right. Yeah, I understand that, but as a farmer, I would, if I have a plethora of cucumbers, then I'm fine, assuming that I'm going to get a higher volume from Market Wagon. I'm perfectly fine in selling them for not that 25% reflection. You know what I mean? But it's just in terms of pricing, it's really good to know the information, and then, like you said, it is up to the vendor or the farmer, and I think that's a great way to run it. But that is still good information for the vendors to know, so that they can price a product that they feel comfortable with.
Yep, absolutely. Because you have margins that you want to reach, and if you were dipping into that margin by 25%, obviously that's something that you would want to make up, or you could also just build it in. But yeah, that's why we give you that freedom.
Okay.
And Ryan, just correct me here too, if that price can change, you don't have that set price 100% of the time. And I guess where I'm going with that is, say I planted way too many pepper plants, and oh my goodness, I've got all these peppers that I need to get rid of. So obviously next week, maybe we've got all these peppers, I can drop my price because I just need to get rid of these peppers. So that can fluctuate to change with the availability of the product, correct?
Yeah, even better, Brian. We have a on sale category. So if you have a ton of peppers and you have to, you want to get rid of them, otherwise they're going in the garbage. Yeah, you place something on sale, and our customers. This is old data, but I'm sure it still rings true. But our customers, when they visit our website, we used to use a platform called Shopify, and it would tell you, it would basically follow the customer around on the website, like where, what they're clicking on, where they're going. And statistically, they would go to the on sale category first, and then they would go to the new category, and then they would start shopping the rest of the website. So yes, yeah, we do encourage that that place something on sale every once in a while. That just gives you more, that puts you in more than one category. So not only are you in the fruits and vegetables, now you're also in the on sale category too. So, but yeah, that's one of the tools that we give the vendors in their dashboard, is the ability to place something on sale.
The other great thing too, just to piggyback on that, Ryan, another item that we offer is you can also provide discount codes. So something that would work specifically in our website, maybe you have a random in-person event, or you have, a stand somewhere that you can put your business card or things like that. You can offer customers a discount code that might encourage them to come shop for the first time. So, maybe you decide, if you have the discount code eggs 2020, then you'll be able to use it and get 10% off your very first order from me. So those are just some of the really cool tools that we have as a part of our website that any vendor can use.
And the communication aspect too. So we give you the ability to reach out to all of your customers. You can reach out to all of your past purchasers, and let's say you made a like a focaccia bread that you're famous for, but you only make it once a year, or like a 1 month out of the year. Well, when that bread comes back, then you send a message out to all of your followers that say, "Hey, the bread's back," and that then people will come back for it. And then they can also, our customers can follow products. So if something is sold out or something is in limited supply, they can follow that product, and when it comes back, then it lets them know, hey, that item that you're following, that you're waiting on, it's back, it's online, and then they can hop on and purchase it. So there's a lot of different ways to get in front of the customer, just on not only on social media platforms, but on our own website, and to communicate with them and let them know sales that you're having or new items. We give you that ability to send that information out. And you're able to actually message all customers. We do charge a very small fee. I want to say it's like 5 cents an email, maybe. Don't quote me on that, but we give you the ability to send a message out to all customers too.
Well, we're coming up on an hour here. Anybody have any additional questions for Ryan or Liz?
Ryan, when it comes to meats, there are certain processing facilities that are USDA certified, and there are other processing facilities that aren't. Perfectly fine facilities. But if I'm going to sell my meat through Market Wagon, does it absolutely have to go through the USDA certified butcher shop? Or as long as it's packaged correctly?
Yes, the only difference is if it's not USDA certified, you cannot take it across state lines. That's the only thing that the USDA and non-USDA, that's the only difference. You couldn't, if you lived in, or you were in our southeast Michigan market and you were selling in Plymouth, and then you thought, well, I'm going to also do Fort Wayne, Indiana, or Northwest Ohio. If you're USDA inspected, you could. If you weren't, you can't. That's the only difference.
Great, thanks.
Okay. Any other questions? Boy, I got to ask Ryan and Liz, you guys are all over the country. Have you ever had anything like this, what we're doing here?
No, this is the first time. I am probably drive my wife nuts because I get giddy about things like this, and I really take a lot of pride in what we have built and what we've done, and the fact that you guys are taking next steps to help us and help your community just tells me that we are somewhere very special, and I'm very proud to be a part of your community. Very, very proud.
Awesome. Awesome. Any last questions here? Where it's 2:57. Anybody have any final questions for Liz or Ryan? So obviously, I'm sure some folks have some specific questions on their own business. Liz and Ryan, for those that want to get involved, what is their next best step from this call?
Yeah, your next best step is, honestly, what Ryan mentioned. Go to our website and look for vendor applications. Honestly, if you just Google Market Wagon vendor application, it'll pop up. Fill out that application, and really all that does is that triggers me to get in contact with you. If you fill out the application, you'll get an automated email from the lead of my team, Sarah Jacobs. But then within 24 hours, just because I have to do it manually, not as fast as the computers, you'll get a follow-up email from me that just kind of welcomes you, gives you some basic information, and also includes our Market Wagon introduction flyer. So that'll give you some great info. And then that can just start the conversation between your business and myself, and I can answer any more specific questions you might have.
Awesome. Any final comments, questions, concerns, anything? Anybody have anything?
I just want to say this sounds like a really interesting opportunity for a wide group of vendors, farmers, makers, creatives, and I'm really happy to have been in this phone call, and really happy that Market Wagon has chosen our community to be in. So I want to thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you very much. And would it be helpful if Liz are you okay with giving out your email address or you can contact me as far as a vendor coming on board? The questions would probably be better for Liz.
Yeah. If anybody would like to email me directly, like I said, you can fill out that vendor application. Or if you just want my email address is my name. So it's Liz, Liz, Duval, and that's D as in dog, U, V as in Victor, ALL, at marketwagon.com. I'll also put it in the chat feature of this call in case anybody's joining from their computer.
Awesome. Well, there it is. Well, we're right at 3 o'clock. I want to thank everybody for joining today. Thank you, Ryan and Liz, for your time. Thank you for establishing your hub here in Shiawassee County. We're very grateful to have you. You are very welcomed here. Thank you, Brian, for being a great host at your facility for them. We definitely want to see you expand there. And then for all of our community members on the call, our food vendors, our potential customers, we hope you see the value in what Market Wagon brings to the table. I think it's more important than ever right now for our food businesses to have this outlet to get new customers. So we will be sharing the recording of this call via email with our stakeholder list. So if you had any questions or things you missed, you can listen to the recording, and please do follow up either directly by email or on the Market Wagon website. So, with that, if there's nothing else, we'll let everyone get back to their day, and appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.